This Antonio Brown, Bruce Arians, Tampa Bay Buccaneers situation. BA just explained his side of it in his press conference, said all the team and all the players are on my side. AB put out his quote, which we don't think he wrote, but it's through his words.
Whoa.
What?
What do you mean?
No, he didn't write it.
Well, listen, maybe
he typed it.
I don't know. There's indentations for the next. It's on the notes. I mean, there's just
Oxford commas.
Yeah, I mean, there's just.
Commas. I noticed the Oxford commas.
Yeah. What's that? Is that what I talked about?
Yeah.
Before the and. Yeah. I mean, it's just, and then you see the screenshots of his text messages. It's not really his style, but I do believe there's potentially a ghostwriter, his representation through his words. So we're hearing Antonio Brown's side of it. I think whether he wrote it or not. I'm actually trying to dismiss the people that are like, he didn't even wrote that. That's not real. Even if he didn't write that. He told somebody his side of the story. Now, Ian, doesn't it all just come to a conclusion quickly when that company in Philadelphia, who's the 33rd owner of the NFL Films, has all this shit mic'd up and they just release it and then boom, they put it all to bed? Because right now, the NFL Super Bowl champion is being accused of forcing one of the best players in football to play whenever he was too hurt to play and then kicked him off the field. Isn't this something that can be settled very quickly?
Maybe. NFL Films doesn't really work like that, though. Like, they are they work for the NFL and they release stuff for our entertainment, but there's been times when, there's rumors of a mysterious room at NFL Films that has all the good stuff, you might say, that they will never, ever let out of there. And I don't know if this is going to be it. Because
some hacker, some 15-year-old over in Germany just said, didn't know that existed.
Yep.
Bet.
Go get it.
I mean, I assume it's in, like, videotapes in beta, but which I don't even know how to play that, whatever. But no, I don't know if NFL Film is going to clear this up. But Bruce Arians actually got to the big part of it. So I heard on the sidelines that BA said, "You're done," and then today he said that he didn't tell Antonio Brown, "You're done." And so I had someone dispute to me. He said, "Well, you said they cut him on the field," and I said, "Yeah, BA said you're done," which is what he said today. He said, "You're done," but does that mean he's cut? I'm not really sure. And then I also had heard, and then Antonio Brown said in his statement, that a coach made the throat slash to him. BA was asked about that, and he says, "Is this a throat slash where you say you're gone?" So, like, there's different interpretations of what happened here. And then here's the other thing. We talk about the injury, right? So he missed Thursday, Friday, and they didn't think he was going to play Friday. And then Saturday goes out in the walkthrough and looks good, shoots up his ankle, goes out and looks good Sunday, the first half, and then goes into the locker room, is pissed because he's not getting the ball enough, tears up the locker room. They had to calm him down, gets out there on the bench, sits on the bench and says, "I'm not playing." Is that ankle or is that not ankle? Like, that's so, like, yes, he did have an ankle injury, but I think what the question is was the reason he was not playing because his ankle, like, is it possible Bruce Arians didn't know that his ankle, which had kept him out Thursday and Friday, but also the same ankle that let him be cleared for the game, was that keeping him from playing? Like, there's so many layers to this.
Yeah, Ian, but how do we ever find out what it is? Like, whether it's, AB was pissed. And also you said he trashed the locker room. Did you, like, what exactly happened?
And who told you that? Who told you that?
Yelling in the locker room.
Yelling.
That was my understanding, was he was very upset about not getting enough targets.
How about before the game? How about before the game, there's a huddle by the team, and he's off on the other side. That thing just hit on the air. So going into the game, there was a problem. Then halftime, it got even worse?
I didn't know about I actually haven't seen that, but that doesn't surprise me. So Wednesday, he goes to the team and asks him to guarantee $1 million of his incentives. Because I think he was like 5 catches away and then like a couple of yards away. There were these rumors that the team didn't want him to get the incentives. He was going to get it anyway. Literally, like, one game, he was going to get it. He wanted them to guarantee the incentives before he played, and they were like, "Well, no, we don't really do that. It's not how incentives work." So, and then the next day he didn't practice because of his ankle. The next day after that he didn't practice because of his ankle. So the timing is interesting, but he was upset beforehand because he wanted his incentives guaranteed.
But he was also pissed during the 3 weeks after he came back from the 3-week suspension, right? So, like, it was just very obvious, you think, to a lot of people that were around the situation that it was going to end terribly, do you think?
Yeah, and so, like, we on this show talk about like the process for me doing my job a lot, which I always think is interesting. I don't know if people care, but I care because it's sort of an interesting job that I have. And I found out a week ago that everybody was upset. And I didn't know quite what it was, but I was told like Brady's upset, and then the Bucs people are upset, and he's not, the suspension took his attention off his rehab, and he probably didn't rehab, in a way that he had wanted, and all of that, right? So something was not right, and I could feel the relationship was not in a place that was really good. I just honestly couldn't figure out how it was getting, and I didn't want to jump out there and be like, there's a problem, and then he goes out and has 150 yards, and I kind of felt like something was wrong, but I didn't know what. And now, knowing what I know now, it all kind of makes sense.
Ian, I didn't know about you saying he went in Wednesday and asked them to guarantee his incentives for $1 million that he was going to hit pretty soon. I mean, that adds a whole nother layer to this whole situation. But what happens now, though, with AB? Is he officially cut yet? Like, and why are they waiting?
Yeah, because then, by the way, that Wednesday thing then leads to what happened on Thursday and Friday.
Yeah,
I mean, then you start. I mean, there's a lot of shit, AJ. There's a lot of shit.
Yeah. So what happens now? So he's cut. He was cut before, but now he's really cut. He's going to go on waivers today. Teams have 24 hours to claim him. We'll know tomorrow at 4 something if somebody claims him.
One last round.
Hard to imagine they will, because he has literally said that he's going to have surgery. But the timing is actually really interesting. So let's say that they had cut him on Monday, like 3 days from now. A playoff team could have claimed him, but they wouldn't be able to play him during the playoffs. If someone claims him now, they would be able to play him during playoffs.
What?
So that's kind of interesting.
Why?
Because he's just a player who's been cut. Like, the regular season is still going on. If they cut him after the regular season, a team in the playoffs couldn't play him. If they cut him during the regular season, someone could claim him tomorrow and play him Sunday.
All right. So there's so much to dive into here. He doesn't want to get picked up because he doesn't want to play, because if he plays, then it goes against everything he's saying, right?
I mean, I guess, but then it's also sort of like I don't think this is going to happen, but like, let's say the Packers claim him and he gets to beat the Bucs. Like, I'm sure he would put off surgery.
Let's not think about like game on field stuff. Let's talk off field stuff. If he gets picked up by a team and he plays, that kind of kills everything he's going on, right? So he does,
right, but I mean, maybe he says, you know what, I'm tough enough. I can delay my surgery a month. Because like he was going to play.
But then there's no grounds for the grievance that he just caused and said that he couldn't play, which is why he couldn't go in the second half.
But I'm trying to think about this from like a money standpoint with the grievance. There's so little money that's at stake. Like, it's one game check, which is like, I think like 60. It's like almost nothing. Yeah. So that's like, let's say he like sues, or a grievance as they call it in the NFL. Like, I don't know what he would grieve for.
Well, future earnings.
Maybe. That seems far-fetched, though.
Yeah, it's very, and I think it seems far-fetched that anybody's going to pick him up. And I know he said, hey, next season business is going to be booming in the end of his statement. That was very well put together.
Oh, yeah.